All right, we're out here today at Possum Kingdom Lake, and we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of living on Possum Kingdom Lake. If this is your first time to the channel, we really appreciate you tuning in to today's episode. We get calls, texts, and emails from people just like you that are thinking about buying a lake home or maybe a vacation home out here in Possum Kingdom. So feel free to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love the chance to connect with you, whether that move is going to be next month or maybe sometime next year. We'd love the chance to hear from you and give you any advice. So I'm standing out here today. We're on Possum Kingdom Lake. I'm here with Cody Mills. He's an associate of mine working alongside me, and he specializes in the Possum Kingdom Lake area. He'll be helping, with any needs that come up. You guys have questions, or maybe you want us to take a look at a listing. So today's video, we're going to be looking at pros and cons of living on Possum Kingdom Lake. One of the main pros that we have is Possum Kingdom Lake is known for its beauty. Fantastic hill country. You have nice hill views. Hell's Gate is a well-known area that people go and travel here all the time. The lake itself is just beautiful. I mean, I've been to a lot of lakes around Texas and even outside of that, and Possum Kingdom is by far the best lake that I've been to. It is fantastic. A lot of people like Lake Granbury, but in terms of just quality of lake, Possum Kingdom is a much better lake than that. Great bass fishing, great things to do here, and we're gonna get into more of that. But Cody, one of the things that we get is, if Possum Kingdom's so great, what's the con? Why does everybody not move out here?
Well, the common trope in real estate is location, right?
Yeah.
And so, people always say that sometimes the greatest strength in an area is also its greatest weakness. And so, because it's so beautiful out here, people desire to be here, and therefore prices reflect that. And so if you want a nice big house on a lake, you're going to be able to get a whole lot less home for your value on PK, as opposed to like a lake like Lake Granbury.
Right.
And so maybe when we get back to the office, we can show a couple listings that would reflect that. But yeah, price point's a big deal.
I've heard prices, they're gonna be much higher here versus Granbury.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if you have a house overlooking a beautiful bluff or a cliff, obviously you're gonna pay for that view.
Right.
As opposed to like out where I live, over off of Lake Pinto, across the lake there's a power plant. So, obviously you're gonna have to pay less for that view than you would to see Hell's Gate out here at Possum Kingdom.
So, we have the beauty of the lake. What's another pro of living out here on PK?
Yeah, so if you are an outdoorsman, if you are into hiking, fishing, golf, that sort of thing, the amount of recreation is unparalleled in the Metroplex. So you have the Cliffs Resort, which is an 18-hole championship golf course. You have 12 trailheads with 16 miles of trails with the Possum PK State Park. Obviously there's bass fishing, you name it, you can do it out here if that's your speed.
Yeah, I've heard the fishing is fantastic out here, and that's one thing in Lake Granbury that is not quite as good as the fishing. But with that said, that also brings you to another con. In Granbury, one of the things we see is that we have 30 to 45 minutes from the Metroplex, whereas here you're hours away from the nearest Metroplex. And with that, you can have limited job opportunities, limited entertainment opportunities. One of the things we talk about, we went to eat at Boondocks today. Great burgers, by the way. If I go visit somewhere, we're always checking stuff out. But when we were there, we noticed that a lot of the
higher end dining opportunities.
A lot of the higher end dining opportunities are going to be tucked away in the gated neighborhood, so you don't have access to a lot of it. So it's something that you definitely take note of. There's not as many places to eat, not as much opportunities to have a nice evening out with a spouse or with the family. So in Granbury you have a little bit more option than you do here.
Right, and along with that would be emergency services. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
You're not as close to any major hospitals if that concerns
Yeah.
concerns you.
Yeah. A lot of the folks that may be retiring out here, that's certainly going to be a concern for many. Yeah, well, I think that covers most of the pros and cons. I'm going to give you all a little bit of footage here. We're out in the Harbor Lake subdivision, and we have marina and lots of, there are jet skis, boats that are stored here. Obviously, there's a little boat ramp. You can back in here. Some folks are putting in their boat right across the way over there. So just a nice little area. Lots of opportunities for townhomes, condos in this subdivision. So yeah, we're taking a look around, and we're going to go back to the office and actually going to shoot a couple of features. We want to do a highlight of, let's just do a comparison of what can you get, on Lake Pinto versus Lake Granbury versus Possum Kingdom. That way you can kind of see what would $700,000 get you at each of those places. You can compare the homes and the quality of the homes. Now again, the waterfront property here is going to be a much more premier location, so it's something that a lot of people will definitely prefer more of, but it's going to be something that depends on what you're looking for. A lot of people do prefer this area. They prefer to retire here, enjoy the lake and all the amenities that are offered. So with that, we're going to wrap this up here, and we'll see you back in the office where we do some more looks at a few other features and even look at a Google Map view and kind of finish everything off. All right, I'll see you in a minute. All right, we're back in the office, and we're going to wrap things up taking a look at Possum Kingdom Lake. So we've gone around and looked at a few properties, and we wanted to come back to the office and hit some drone footage, compare some homes that are on different lakes, and we plan to go a lot further in depth as time goes on. We're going to do some comparisons between cities and lake properties. Just for a little snapshot, for anyone that's thinking about looking for a lake home, we wanted to just give you a bird's eye view of some of the differences you can see in these lake properties. So I am going to share my screen, and we will take a look at a few pieces of information. So I mentioned that Possum Kingdom Lake, here's a cool website. This is the government website you can take a look at. If we do a map view here and we look at where Possum Kingdom is, it's right here on the map. Fort Worth is over here. You're going to have Palo Pinto is going to be a little closer, as you can see. So we are, it's about halfway in between, Fort Worth, not halfway, but, a little ways closer. And then you have Granbury, which is down here, which is also one of the better known lakes. If you're looking at the Metroplex, Granbury is about 35 minutes from Fort Worth, whereas Possum Kingdom is going to be 2.5 3 hours from Fort Worth. If you are thinking about what Possum Kingdom offers, it's really going to come down to the quality of the lake and what you can do there, activities and just the views. But the downsides, as we mentioned in our video, is going to be, proximity to Fort Worth, job opportunities, healthcare, emergency healthcare, things of that nature. There's a couple of things to note. The Possum Kingdom is going to be, part of it is going to be in Palo Pinto schools. You go from kindergarten up to, I believe, 7th grade in Palo Pinto, and then you get to choose where you want to go if you live in that. So if you've got school-aged children, there's a process for those who live in the Palo Pinto. Most of Possum Kingdom is going to be on the Grayford ISD, slightly higher tax point there. Not much. It's only about 0.1% roundabout. So it's pretty close. There is going to be between 1.35 and 1.45, and that's an estimate. It's it's 4 or 5 digits. So, but it's right there in that range, which overall is a great range. If you compare that, say, to Granbury, outside of city limits is 1.2. Inside of city limits is 1.6. So it's pretty comparable to a city like that, which is a pretty good tax rate considering other competing counties. We are going to look at 3 properties where we mentioned that Possum Kingdom is going to be more expensive because of the quality of the location. as far as waterfront and all of that. So we want to look at a couple of properties. So this one is a Granbury property, and it is on the main body. And you can see here that it is pretty well updated. You have granite countertops, nice ceilings, updated floors. You have a little dock here for a small boat. And everything looks, you know, well tended and updated. We can just keep going through, and good condition, you know, tile, shower. All right, we're gonna move over to, this one is on Palo Pinto Creek Reserve, or Reservoir, and it is already sold. As you can see, it's, you know, pretty updated inside. Kitchen is a little outdated. Flooring is a little outdated. It's a 750, and it is also on the main body. It's got a very nice dock with a pier going out to it. This is a snap of it. This is the back of the property. This is the front. So you can see 2-car garage there. It's nice. It's also got a little shop out next to it. That's what you're getting for 750. 5-bed, 4-bath, 6,000 square foot, main body water, great boat dock, 750. Okay. Now let's look at this one. All right, this is 850s, 100,000 more. So of the ones that we've looked at, 749. This one right here was about 750. We're going up $100,000. Beautiful boat dock, great pier going out to the lake. Just beautiful location there. I mean, you got the hill views in the back. But then, you know, that if we look at the house, it's pretty dated inside. You know, you're looking at a property that is certainly going to need some updating for most folks. For a weekend home, it's probably not that important, and you might think having access to this beautiful lake is very worth it. And I wouldn't disagree with you. I mean, that comes down to the question that we're posing here is we're trying to give you an honest assessment that, hey, this is absolutely the best lake, but you're going to get a little bit less for bang for your buck on the home side. So if we are looking at pieces of information here, let me go show you. This is the drone shot I had when we looked at the condo. So during the vlog tour, we stopped at a condo, and I just stopped and did a little drone flyover, and we just kind of had a snapshot of the Possum Kingdom Lake, and wanted to show you kind of that bird's eye view. Just beautiful. I mean, this is absolutely gorgeous views of the lake here, and very hard to beat. So if we stop, let me go back just a second there, a little bit more. This is the swimming pool for the condos that we were at. So I'm standing, you know, right over here with the drone flying. And so I'm kind of getting a snapshot so you can see where we're located. Yeah, just, I mean, phenomenal views. And the lake just snakes all the way around. And, I think the thing that people underestimate is the beauty of these views with these hilltops. I mean, the drone's up pretty high, so you can't really see it, but man, it's like, you know, mini-sized mountains all over the place, and it's just a beautiful thing to look at. If you haven't been, I mean, you ought to schedule a trip and go out there. It's wonderful. I mean, it is really something else. And I have one more drone shot that I wanted to show you before we wrap things up. So I am in another location here that is more like walkout water, a walkout water area. Let's see if we can. So you have marinas all over the place. Yeah, nice little island out here that's probably great for fishing. Yeah, so we've kind of got a few of those. One of the properties that I looked at while we were there on site was 2139 Trail Ridge, and I just wanted to highlight this home. It is on the market. It's a 3,000 square foot. So we got a front shot of it. It is on a bluff. So I felt like I was in Mission Impossible when I was driving down this little bluff edge right here. It was interesting. So we were driving down this and just getting, just enjoying the views of the lake. And if you go to this property, you drive down this hill and you find that the home is kind of situated into the side of the bluff here. It has some gorgeous views of the lake, breathtaking. You're sitting atop this bluff, you're overlooking the entire lake. Like all of this is in your view as you're sitting, on the back porch of this property. It is phenomenal views. And with cameras, it's one of the things that it can't capture what the eye can in terms of that view. It's hard to explain how well this home is situated on this bluff. Now it is on the bluff, and it is going to be at 1.2 million, so it's not going to be in our 800,000 range. Quite nice. And inside could use some updates, but what you're getting as far as access to the lake, having the dock and the views, they're exceptional. They really were. So it was quite a nice property. All right, so we've kind of given some ideas of the ISDs. We've talked about several pieces of information that you would want to look at. We've looked at the Google map and kind of highlighted where we're at. We're in cities that are around. You have Grayford here to the east. You have Graham here to the north, basically. And then, to the southeast, you have Palo Pinto. We kind of have a pretty good bird's eye view of where we're located. And we've compared, this lake to the reservoir in Palo Pinto, and we've compared it to the lake in Lake Granbury. My opinion of the lake in Possum Kingdom versus the lake in Granbury is that the Possum Kingdom Lake is far, far, far superior to the lake in Granbury. It just is. It lacks access to the Metroplex. It lacks the development of the city itself and the things you can do. There's a lot more stuff to do in Granbury. If you're thinking about retiring, and you're not only looking at the quality of the lake, you're looking at the quality of life, community, things to do that are not necessarily water restricted. Granbury is a much better city for stuff like that. It's one of the best retirement cities in the nation. It's just a fantastic spot because of the community and the things you can do. But in terms of just lake, Possum Kingdom was a far superior lake. The width of the lake is much better. I mean, it's kind of hard to capture, but look at the width, how thick the lake is. When you get to Granbury, it seems very thin, and you have that feel. When you look at Granbury, you go in person, go to the lake, and then you're at Possum Kingdom. There's a pretty big difference. So with that, the goal here was to give you a pros and cons, also give you a status for comparison when you're looking at other lakes that you might be thinking about. It's certainly something that a lot of people call me for. We get calls all the time from people that are looking at Possum Kingdom and looking at Granbury, and they're wanting to go visit and tour both properties or both areas and look at properties in each area. So if there is interest, you have questions about it, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Love the chance to connect with you. Cody Mills, who is a partner with me at my brokerage, he's coming alongside of me. He works in the Possum Kingdom area very often. It's very likely that if you want to go out and take a look at some properties, that he will be touring around with you and showing you some of that. So with that, we really appreciate you tuning in to today's episode. More episodes, Possum Kingdom, are on the way. They're in the pipe. We're working on them. We'll get them out to you. We hope this was enjoyable. And if you have any feedback, leave them in the comments or shoot me a text directly. We'd love the chance to hear from you. And if I don't hear from you, I hope to see you around Possum Kingdom sometime.